Hey, household of faith. I'm just here tonight to encourage you. The encouragement tonight. Well, I hope everybody had a good day. How was everybody's day? Hope everybody had a good Monday. I know a lot of people think of Monday as like, but I hope you had a good Monday. But anyway, so I'm coming here to encourage you tonight from Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. This will be really quick. This is like my third try trying to get this down to like 5 minutes. Basically, the encouragement is for those in transition. Those of you who know there's a point A and there's a point B you need to get to, or there's a point A and a point B that God has promised you, but then you have that middle part, and a lot of things happen in between point A and point B, and most of the time is unexpected because you're trotting along your way, and then something happens, whatever that something may be, and it seems like you're not going to get to point B. And this is where they were in chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. Jesus had asked, he had really, I won't say asked, but he told the disciples, let us cross over to the other side. So in other words, let us go from this point A to point B. And during their journey, a great windstorm came and it was filling the boat up, and it seemed like they weren't going to get to point A to point B. And I'm like seriously saying like they weren't going to get to point A to point B. At least that's what it seemed like, because of the great windstorm. The boat was filling up. I'm sure the sea was going crazy. I'm sure people were freaking out, and it just looked like the boat was probably going to sink and they weren't going to make it. So they woke up Jesus, because Jesus asleep. Jesus is in the stern. The scripture says he's in the stern. He on a pillow, and he catching some Z's. Jesus is asleep, all right? So they like, wait, hold on. Don't you care that we about to go down? We supposed to be on our way over here, but it don't look like we gonna make it. Don't you care? Don't you care we perishing? And so Jesus gets up, rebukes the wind, rebukes the sea, and says, peace be still. And there was a great calm. He brought peace to the situation, right? Peace to chaos. And then he turns to them and says, why are you so fearful? Why do you have like no faith, right? Who asked that question during a windstorm and like when the boat's filling up and it looks like we're going to sink? And so my son wanted to know the same thing. So what I had to do was take him back to verse 35 where Jesus said, let us go from point A to point B. So this is where this relates to us. Many times we get a promise, we get a word from God. Hey, I'm going to take you from this place to this place. But then there's that in between, that in between, like they were in the boat on their way from point A to point B. But then that unexpected windstorm came. So a lot of us have a lot of unexpected windstorms that come, whether it may be in my situation, trying to get into a school, and it seems like, I'm not going to make it there because I hadn't heard back from them, and I finished all my paperwork in April, but then I do get in. But that middle ride was rough because there was a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, no responses, slow responses, responses with no or responses that were given but were not really good responses because nothing happened behind the responses. So, on that journey from point A to point B, lots of things happen. Unexpected things could happen. So I want to encourage you, instead of doing like how they did and freaking out and thinking, oh, this boat is sunk, or no, I'm not going to make it, or oh gosh, this just happened, or I am totally not seeing the other side because of what I see. Focus on what I want to encourage you to focus on what God told you. Focus on his word. What did he promise you? He promised you was going to get from point A to point B. He said, let us go. And if you stepped out on faith and you got in the boat and you say, okay, Jesus said, let's go from point A to point B, and you got in that boat and you're on your way, it doesn't matter what happens along the way. It doesn't matter that unexpected thing, that windstorm that comes. You got to trust and believe and focus on what he said. If it gets rough, do like they did and wake him up, but don't say, don't you care? That's what we do a lot. A lot of times this stuff's not working out. Well, I thought I heard you say, God, let's go from point A to point B. Well, maybe that wasn't him. Or, you know what? God said this, I'm going to go from point A to point B, but I ain't got there. This ain't looking like point B. It looked like I'm still standing at point A, even though you know you in the boat on the way. Don't give up. Don't think because you haven't arrived at point B that that's not your destination and that's not where you're going to get to. You're going to get there. If you were promised you're going to get there, you're going to get there. So go to him. You know, when you start feeling yourself unfocused, focusing on what you see, focusing on the windstorm, focusing on the unexpected, focusing on the distractions, go back to him and say, Jesus, you know what? This is what this is looking like. Please help me. He's a very present help in a time of trouble. We can go boldly before the throne of grace. Go to him. You see how like they went to him? Even though they went to him with the wrong attitude, he was able to rebuke what was going on and bring a great calm to the situation. He just said, peace be still, and brought a great calm to the situation. So go back to him if you need to. Sometimes we need to. Sometimes we're on that journey and it's like, you know what? I'm not seeing point B, or this is happening and don't even look like I'm in the boat. Go back to Jesus. Pray about it and ask him to bring that great calm on you and get your eyes focused back on what he said to you. So I hope this was an encouragement. I hope that you will remember that what God said to you, where he said he's going to take you, you're going to get there. Even though it doesn't seem like it, even though it doesn't feel like it, even though it doesn't look like it, look like it, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. So I pray that, you know, on your journey from point A to point B, if you have difficulties, unexpected windstorms, that you will go back to Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. And I did say I was going to hit chapter 5, verse 1. So remember he said, let us cross over. And remember in the middle, there was that unexpected windstorm, and so much they thought they weren't going to make it because it looked like they were going to die. Chapter 5, verse 1 says, then they came where? To the other side. So I hope this has been an encouragement to you. Know that you will get to the other side. Know that you will get to your destination as long as you trust and have faith in God and know that all is not lost, that he is in control of every situation and he sees all. So good night, good night. Have a good night's sleep. I hope this again was encouraging. I know it's encouraging to me, and it will be in the future, because I do go back and watch my videos and have to get myself back on track. So God bless. Pray you wake up full of energy and peace. Good night.